Okay, you guys, I'm back. I got dinner here. I'm here in Connecticut, where the primaries are of course going on at the moment. Very interesting. I've gotten to live through this current election, the 2016 election. Is definitely going to be one for the books. I think we can all agree on that. And I get to say that I lived through the New York one, which was in my state. Now I'm here in Connecticut the day the primaries are happening here, you know? The day of Super Tuesday, number what, 4, 3, 4? So I'm still waiting for 1968 to upload. It's taking forever, and it's only like 50% uploaded. But you know what? We're going to keep doing these next ones. We're going to keep on trucking. We're going to keep on rolling. So we're going to get to the 1980 election. Now, I'm eating at the moment, so I can't really show you a map or any pictures. But I am still going to move along forward with it. I must say, I've come a lot farther than I expected originally. Anyways, Ron Kasich. But let's talk about the 1980 election. So the incumbent president, Jimmy Carter, runs for re-election. Now he's challenged, though, because what was going on with the hostage crisis, the Iran hostage crisis, people weren't very happy with the way he was doing it. So what happens is he is challenged in a primary in 1980 by members of his own party, including Jerry Brown, as well as Ted Kennedy. Well, Jerry Brown didn't do well in the primaries, so he dropped out in April of 1980. But, you know, Ted Kennedy still fought Jimmy Carter for a very long time. But what really, really crippled Ted Kennedy was when they asked him, and we talked about this in one of the previous episodes, when he says, when somebody asks him, why do you want to be president? Ted Kennedy says, it's like if you can't even answer why you think you'd be a good president or why you want to be president, then you know you're really screwed. So Ted Kennedy, his campaign goes downhill. He has to drop out. So Carter is the nominee yet again. Now on the Republican side, people like Howard Baker are running. George W. Bush is running. Not George W. Bush. George H.W. Bush is running. Now George H.W. Bush, he has a really good chance. He's considered a badass because he was the ambassador to China during the whole thing with China with Nixon. And while Nixon was still very unpopular, what happened in China, he was very popular for that. And guess who was the ambassador through all that? George H.W. Bush. And he was also, at one point, the CIA director and a United States representative. So, yeah, he's the nominee. Well, he's not the nominee, sorry. Another person that runs, though, who has a really good chance, is Bob Dole, who is the vice presidential nominee for what was his name? Gerald Ford in 1976. So that's kind of what gives him credibility. And he's also whoa, that's the back of my charger I'm feeling. He's also a senator from Kansas. This is a pretty good piece. I heard this is a good piece down here in Connecticut. You know, when I was downstairs ordering my pizza, there were a lot of people talking about this election. But yeah, very interesting election so far. But anyways, in this election, let's get back to 1980 before we talk about 2016. So in 1960, there's not too much to say. But yeah, there are a bunch of Republican candidates. And these Republican candidates, they run, but the top-notch guy, and I said there was something in store for him, is the former governor of California, Ronald Reagan. And Reagan takes the nomination, he stacks the nomination, but his main rival is George H.W. Bush. But now even Bush stands a chance for Ronald Reagan. So Reagan's the nominee, and he runs against Reagan. Well, Reagan isn't running against Reagan. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm getting distracted, sorry, yes. He runs against Carter. Now, there's a lot of speculation about who Reagan, who his vice presidential nominee, is going to be. Now, many people there were a lot of rumors that Ford would come back to be Reagan's vice president. In fact, during an interview, Ford said he would be interested in a co-presidency type of deal thing. But Ford was hoping Kissinger would apparently wasn't happy with what Reagan wanted to do with Henry Kissinger, who was the Secretary of State for Ford. Ford really thought Kissinger deserved better, so he kind of denied those rumors after that. Now, who knows if Reagan ever considered that or not? It would have been historic, but he ends up picking George H.W. Bush, his chief rival in the primaries. Well, the polls show, and a lot of people are pointing this out, like Trump's pointing this out now, because a lot of the polls show that Hillary is beating Trump. But the polls right now in 1980 say that Jimmy Carter is going to beat Ronald Reagan by a lot. Well, that doesn't actually, you see, Reagan actually defeats him by a huge landslide. Yeah. And he wins by a 400 to 100 majority. Let me show. I'm going to put these pictures down to show you. So yeah, here you can see the election map between Carter and Reagan. Most of this is red. Not completely, although wait till you see the next map in our next video between Mondale, the vice president at the moment, and Reagan, who run against each other. But yeah, this is the electoral map for the 80 election. Mostly red. You got Georgia goes blue because it's the thing is Georgia was the home state of Carter, which is the reason why. He also wins Rhode Island as well as Maryland and West Virginia and Florida. So pretty much less than 10 out of 50 states. That's a pretty big victory for Reagan. But If you think this is big, wait till you see the next election because now, okay, so now at this point, Reagan is the president. He's eligible to run for re-election, and his vice president is George Herbert Walker Bush. Let's see what happens next.